Speech today comes from personal experience. As you all know, about 2 years ago, I began this journey of personal development, self-discovery. All these, all these changes have taken place in my life. But it started out around 2 years ago. I met a very successful businessman, and this man's name was Mr. Limoges. Mr. Limoges took me under his wing and started to teach me some success principles that I had never learned before. Nobody had ever taught me, and I had never heard of. So one day, Mr. Limoges is sitting me down, and he says, "Hey Arnold, look, I want to share something with you. I want to teach you the key to success." So I got my notebook out. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. I'm ready to listen to what he has to say. I think it's going to be something spectacular, something crazy. So I'm getting ready to write the notes. And he says, "Find yourself some successful people. Find out what they do and do what they do." Because he said, if you do what they did, you will get what they got. And I was like, this is it? This is your success key? But then he also dropped another nugget in my lap that day, and he said, success leaves clues. So I put the two together, and it started to blow my mind, really. And so I started to do some research. I started to voraciously attack this. I started to think, okay, so I have to find some successful people. I don't know any in my life. I mean, I need to have like some ultra successful. I'm talking about people who are in the history books, people who have made a dent in this universe, people who will never be forgotten. I started to research those people. Martin Luther King, Buddha, Jesus, all these people that will never be forgotten. And there was one common theme that underlied every single one of them. It wasn't that these people were smarter than me or us. They weren't more intelligent than us. They didn't, at the beginning I thought they were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. You know, all the successful people, oh, they're lucky. They're successful because they're lucky. But what I found is a lot of these people came from nothing, very humble beginnings. Abraham Lincoln was sleeping on a dirt floor, became one of the greatest presidents ever in the history of our state, of our country. And what I found was one common theme was that they thought differently than us, than the normal average person. It was all right here. Everything was in their mind. And they had another key component to their success. They understood that thoughts become things. And now I know when I say that, some of you are rolling your eyes. You guys are scientists, a lot of you, and you know, you're like, come on, did I come here to listen to a 20-minute lecture on metaphysical magic? And the answer is no, you did not. I am not going to teach you how to sit on your Barker Lounger, pop open a beer, and create a 10-bedroom mansion out of thin air. This is not that. I know you've heard of some things, you know, The Secret and things like that that have come out in pop culture now. But what I'm here to talk about, I'm going to talk about two distinct laws that operate in our universe, whether we know they exist or not. And once I began to utilize those laws in my life, my entire life changed. Because I found some successful people, I did what they did, and now I'm starting to get what they got. So, what I want to talk about are two laws. And this is going to be a two-part series that I'm going to have to do because I'm not going to have time to finish what I need to talk about. So I'm just going to talk about two parts right now. I want to talk about the law of vibration and the law of attraction. And you might be rolling your eyes again. I know it sounds a little out there. Just please have an open mind for me, okay? So, first I want to go back and I want to say that throughout history, throughout our recorded history, this has been talked about. This is not something new. If you go back into the Bible, you see Proverbs 4:23. Keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flow the springs of life. And when they talked about your heart in the Bible, they're talking about your subconscious. When they said to keep your heart with faith, keep your mind with faith. Do not be conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. Your life is a direct result from your mind. Proverbs 23:7. as a man thinketh in his heart or his subconscious mind, so is he. This is 15 to 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll hurry up then. So, Buddha said, your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts. We are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world. We are shaped by our thoughts. We become what we think. When the mind is pure, joy follows like shadows that never leave. And I think Buddha and Jesus have made a pretty big impact on our world, so I want to hear what they have to say, and I want to... Marcus Aurelius, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Key point. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Therefore, guard accordingly. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Now, Napoleon Hill, the author of the book Think and Grow Rich, which is one of the #1 best-selling success books of all time. Tony Robbins credits his success to this. Oprah Winfrey. There are many of the top people that credit a lot of their success to this book. And what he says is all achievements, all earned riches have their beginning in an idea. Our only limitations are those we set up in our own minds. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. So, if we hear this over and over and over and over with example and example, once it starts to sink in and we let our old conditioned thinking get out of the way, we can begin to make some significant changes. So let me talk about the law of vibration for all you scientists. I broke it down a little bit and made it a little bit scientific because I know you want to see something. So, I don't even really have to read through all that. What it is you all understand that nothing is as it seems, right? There is no solids. This table is not solid. You're not solid. I'm not solid. Nothing is solid. Everything is vibration. When you break it down to the molecule, then we talk about after the molecule, you break it down to the atom, and then we have subatomic particles, and then we have energy that underlies everything. It's all vibration. Everything that we can hear, see, smell, touch, taste is all vibration. And things that we can't see are vibration. Viruses are vibration. Bacteria, everything. So, consider oxygen. The reason that we are unable to sense it with our physical sensory perception is because its rate of vibration is outside of our physical ability to do so. So is gravity. So is wind. Now, thoughts are a part of our universe, right? I mean, they exist. So, if they follow this example with everything else, they too must vibrate, which they do, in which we have actually picked up, we have some advanced medical devices that can measure the frequency. So thought in itself has a vibrational frequency. Thought with emotional attachment to it vibrates at even a higher rate. So when you are emotionally charged about something, that is created. I'm not talking about every little thought you think is created in the universe. But if you think about something with passion and desire, that will come to pass. So, thoughts are vibration. Thoughts are actually the most potent form of vibration in the universe is thought. Every thought has a frequency. Thoughts have biochemical properties. And thoughts penetrate all space and time. And again, for you scientists,